Hello everyone and welcome to New Tech Tuesday Tutorials. I am your host Richard Evans. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today I'd like to show you custom workspaces in TriCaster. Now there are several different ways that you can customize your work area within TriCaster to make life in production land a little bit easier and a lot more fun. So I'll stop talking and show you how it's done, son! Alright, so here we are in the TriCaster 2 Elite interface. This is going to be a long video today only because there are a lot of different ways that you can customize your TriCaster workstation. Okay? So, before we get started, I'll let you know that I have 3 different monitors plugged into this system so that I can spread everything out and have my ideal workstation. Okay, so the first thing I need to show you is Workspaces. I'll do a quick little overview of that. Workspaces is where you can go to, it's kind of the global setting for your monitors, okay? So if I go to the top of the screen and click Workspaces, you'll see that I have Multiviewer 1, 2, and 3. So let's check out Multiviewer number 1. First of all, click on Load Default, and click on Bank 1, and that shows me inputs 1 through 12, along with my DDRs, my mix effects, and my buffers. And if I go to Bank number 2, that shows inputs 13 through 32, along with 4 buffers, and it kind of goes down the list here, all right? So a bunch of different ways that you can configure that, but also let me show you the one that I use a lot here is Scopes. Click on that one, and this allows you to pull up a input on one of your preview rows, and then you can see the waveforms and the vector scope here so that you can fine-tune your different colors, etc. Perfect for white balancing cameras, which I gotta do all the time. Okay, so back to Load Default, go to Bank number 1. Now you can do the same process to the other 2 monitors, but since there's no controls for them, because all of your controls are right here on screen, it's just gonna be the video setup. So let's go to Multiviewer number 2 here, and I can select a whole bunch of different layouts here. So for example, I'll click on Main Bank right here. So that will show me my 16 different inputs and also 2 of my DDRs. And then I have Program and Preview up here at the top. Or let's say that we wanted to make that a confidence monitor. So I have a giant monitor in my studio and I want to show everybody in the room what I'm doing. I can go to Workspaces, Load Default, Full Screen, bam. Now it's just the program output of my TriCaster, which is pretty awesome. All right, let me go ahead and show you something else back on the main interface on my Multiviewer number 2. This is going to be specific to the TriCaster 2 Elite and the TC1 Pro. Live Call Connect, where you can bring in remote callers. We can access the settings for that over here on App Desktop. And let's take a look at that screen now. This is the secondary screen. I now have access to open up Skype, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, all from here. Cool, so that's where you would go to set all of that up. I won't go into that today because that'll be another long video. But you can also open up internet browsers so you can find different pertinent information for your show, different alerts, check your email, whatever, okay? Now you can do this for pretty much all the monitors as well, so even the same thing for my Multiviewer number 3, and again, same kind of layout for those, a lot of different things that you can do with this. Alright, so that is number 1. The next way that you can customize your TriCaster is you can start to collapse different windows. So if you were using a touch monitor, for example, and you didn't want to have all of this on screen, you can start to get rid of it. So for example, the switcher here, I can turn that into an express switcher, make it smaller, so I have access to my 4 different transitions here, 2 downstream keyers, and then just simply punch these buttons up here without having to use a control panel, anything like that. All right. Now I can get rid of either the switcher or the express switcher simply by clicking on the highlighted tab twice, or just once, like this, boom, my switcher is gone. And all right, we still have some screen real estate at the bottom we want to use up, so I want to get rid of that too. What I can do is, again, just click on the already highlighted tab and poof, that is gone. So this is great if you have a touchscreen monitor. You can go through and just simply touch on these sources with your finger and switch your show, which is dope. Okay, but I am not doing that today, so I'm going to bring everything back on screen and show you the next option is changing your inputs. All right, now for this, I'm going to go ahead and move over to my monitor 3 And let's go ahead and Workspaces, click on Load Default. And I want to show you here under this option, where is it? Right there, Media Players. Let's go ahead and click on that, but just take a look at the shape. It's just basically 2 by 2. Bring that up, and now it's bringing up all of the media players that I have on my system. Now I currently have my DDRs playing back green screen footage so I can throw them into different mix effects, all right? But they don't have to be that way. I can start to change whatever I see on screen, and you can do this same method on all of your monitors, even on the interface monitor. All you have to do is right-click on it, and now I have access to everything, all the way from the outputs to specific inputs, media players, mix effects, etc. So for this one, let's go ahead and bring up mix effect number 1, and now they're on their virtual set instead of on their keyed green screen shot here. Let's see, right click on this top one, and let's select a different input. We'll just go input 8 for the time being. All right, and then here at the bottom, I can also select a clock, so I can time my show properly. And then for this bottom right one, I'm going to select my program output. All right, so now I can see exactly what's going on screen. So again, you can change this on the interface, monitor 2, 3, etc. It's a great way to start to lay out different things however you want. All right, so the next thing that I want to show you is source presets. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to bring up over here on my input number, oh, not input, but this top left one. Let me bring in input 16. All right. And in this shot right now, that is a shot that I have in my studio of a PTZ camera on this Armored Gentleman here. And as I've shown in previous videos, if I open up the input configuration on my PTZ tab, I have 16 different presets to choose from. So I can manipulate my camera source from here and then simply save those as different camera presets. So all I have to do is click on them, and then those will cycle between different shots. But again, to get to there, I had to open up this tab. But now you can customize your workstation by checking out the presets. So what I'm going to do, just so we can see them next to each other, I'm going to right click here, go to inputs, select that same input, input 16, and then I'll right click again and click source presets, and bam! Those are the 16 different presets I had available to me. So now I can click on them from here, and we can see right next to it that it is changing that shot exactly when I tell it to, which is pretty awesome. Now, this also works for the virtual cameras as well on your different inputs. So you can set up presets, even if they're not PTZ cameras, to zoom into different parts of the screen for virtual pan and scan, basically. All right, now you can also set this up to control comps. So for example, I'm going to right click here. Actually, let me clear this out first. All right, I'm going to right click in here, and I'm going to select my mix effect number 4, which are these kids on their virtual set. And I have, let me open up this tab here. So this is the controls for that particular preset, mix effect. And I can click between 2 comps that I've made here. And same thing, what I'll do is I can control that by, again, selecting mix effects number 4 next to it, right click on it, source presets, and there are my 16 different presets available. So pretty cool. Works for both your cameras, virtual pan and scan, or your comps. All right. Now the next thing I want to show you is that the different overlays that you can add to some of these sources. So let me go ahead and clear this out. And I'm going to go to the DDR source for these kids here. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to Media Player DDR4. And now we can see their shot, which I have keyed out, which you can tell because the green icon is here at the bottom. Now I can start to manipulate the shot that I'm looking at as far as different tools. So for example, let's say that one of the outputs on my TriCaster is a 4x3 output. I can right-click on that source, go to Overlays, and you'll see that this top selection, I have a couple different options here, will show different overlays that you can put on top of your shot. So for example, like I just said, we'll click 4x3, and now I can see what would be safe inside the 4x3 angle here. I can also put in a center cross so I know exactly where the center of that shot is. a whole bunch of different options, all the way from also tracking markers if you're using those, and hotspot markers as well. Now these bottom options give you options to manage the different key aspects of your shot. So for example, I'll click on checkerboard here, and now the black background is gone. It's just a checkerboard so that we can see exactly where things are keyed out. And let me right click on this again, go to overlays. I can also go to show illegal, blue only, show alpha. This one's pretty good, so you can set up your chroma key a little bit better. Like for example, you can see that I have just a little bit of fuzziness around the edges here. So if I wanted to, I could go through and adjust my key and make this a little bit better of a shot, but I won't do that today because we're doing this instead. I can also add VU meters to sources if they have audio, and you can display stereo, quad, 8, all the way up to 16 channels. And let me go ahead and take this off screen here. Go back to overlays, and you can also flip this shot horizontally, just so you can see the other side. Now keep in mind, when you do that, it does not alter the shot itself. You'll see back over here on the mix effect that they're on, that did not change at all. So that's just for different views within your interface. All right, so now that's overlays. The next thing I want to show you is a game changer, and I absolutely love it. This is a feature that is going to be exclusive to the TriCaster TC1 Pro and the TriCaster 2 Elite, and that is Live Panel. All right, so as I've mentioned before in other videos, is you can have your TriCaster execute a whole bunch of different commands by creating macros. So you can, do a whole bunch of stuff and then just play it back with a touch of a button off of, say, like your typing keyboard, control panel, or a Stream Deck, Novation Launchpad, some kind of third-party controller, etc. But now you can host Live Panel directly into your interface, and this is where it gets awesome. So I'm going to right-click here, and I'll go to Live Panel, and you'll see I have 8 unique presets to choose from here. So let's click on preset 1 and check it out. Now, Live Panel is in TriCaster, which is amazing. Okay, so you see I have 16 different buttons here that currently do nothing. So let's go ahead and start to configure one of those buttons at least. So I'll right click in that window and I'll select configure. And that will bring up the configuration window for Live Panel. So now from here, let's say I want this button here. I'm just going to mess with one button today, this top one. I can mess with the size of it, so I can make it just a little bit bigger. I'll do it 2 by 2, so it's like a really important button right here in the middle of Live Panel. I could also turn it into a 2-state Live Panel button, so where if I hit it once, it does something, and if I hit it again, it'll do something else. But I'm going to leave it the way it is right now. And let's change the label for it. It doesn't need to say 1. We want this to be DSK 1 auto. Okay. I can also change some of the aspects of the text here, the alignment, also the text color. So I'm going to make that light blue, and then I want to bring some emphasis to that button. I don't want that boring gray color. Let's select pink. Now we can see it big time here. All right, and then from this drop down here on the macro side of things, I now have access to all the macros available that either come with a system or that you've made yourself. So many things you can do. These are all the ones that we've built, but I'm just going to use a system command, perform auto here, which I've already done. So let's go ahead and hit close. And a reminder that I had down here in the bottom right, that is my program preview. So now if I click on DSK1 auto, check this out. It's going to bring in my downstream keyer, which is the spotlights. And if I click it again, it goes away. So lots of different ways you can customize your workstation within TriCaster. I highly recommend playing around with it and have some fun. As you can see, a lot of really cool customizations are just a click away. Now, if you like this tutorial, be sure to subscribe to the NewTek YouTube channel at youtube.com/NewTekInc. Then you can find out more about NewTek products and services by contacting your local reseller, or you can visit our website, newtek.com. And you can even sign up for a free NewTek product demonstration by signing up at newtek.com/demo. And for formalized NewTek product training, I highly recommend checking out NewTek University at newtek.com/newtek-u. And as always, if you're posting your work with NewTek products on social media, Tag us using the hashtags NewTech, TriCaster, or 3Play. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this tutorial has been enlightening, and I'll see you again soon for another episode of New Tech Tuesday Tutorials.